changing lives.
Hello, good evening. It's a beautiful Tuesday and it's a new month. We are in the month of August and we thank God so much for granting us the opportunity to be part of this new month. If you agree to this, say amen wherever you are. I am saying amen. We thank God for how far He has brought you and I. God, we thank you. The people of Tarkwa, Western region, we appreciate you. And thank you so much. Thank you so much over the weekend. It was wow. It was just wonderful for the support. Oh, it was lovely. Thank you so much. We thank you that you helped us in celebrating our 5th year anniversary. Thank you. Wherever you are, Kumasi, Tarkwa, Bechem, Accra, wherever you are, we thank you. We thank you for the comments that you constantly bring to us, to help us bringing you different programs that will help your homes and strengthen your families. Today is another day and we are here on Love at Home on Hope Channel Ghana. Today we want to look at family and diets. Family and diet. Is it really important that family we discuss diets? My name is Efia Sewa Mansa. And let me also remind you that you can be an angel of hope by dialing *928*34*104#. Then you follow the prompt. You can also send in your contributions to 0249193083. Join us on Facebook, on YouTube, and on our WhatsApp lines on 0559680066. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we start our discussions. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Angel of Hope.
I'm an angel of hope.
Ubrenio, so do Sika a Baba Hope Channel. No one so yasene, yet me the mere some a main chia so in Choromina, Wadaroma, Farmain, Nafa Sika Fasubi. Na also fabra yenko kanyamsem enya kra ewunkwa *928*34*104# anase 0249193083. Hope Channel yes sabrabo. Hope Channel ya jia kra no nkwa.
The Beulah Seventh-day Adventist Church, in collaboration with Elim, Gilead, Berean, Chrysolite, and Penal SDA Churches presents the Innovation, Creativity, and Entrepreneurship Conference 2023 under the theme Disruption, the Radical Christian Approach to Business and Corporate Life, happening on Wednesday the 2nd of August to Friday the 4th of August. Time 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Venue Beulah Land Kwadoso Estate. This year's conference will be a gathering of 1,000 young Christian professionals who will gather to learn, unlearn, and relearn emerging radical issues in entrepreneurship, innovation, job creation, corporate life, the future of work, and disruptive digital technologies. Speakers: Dr. Daniel Macaulay, Amma Duncan, Ohinaba Yao Sapong Serebo I, Kokwe Salome Hansen, Tony Senaya, Dr. Evans Dia, JJ Ansa Ado Kuranteng, Pastor Godswill TK Mensa. For more enquiries, contact 024 618 1134 or 024 252 7829.
My lovely viewer, you are welcome. And the program is Love at Home on Hope Channel, Ghana. Yes, today we are looking at family and diet. Diet and dieting issues are very significant areas worth considering in the planning of the family. And so the question is that really important? Why is that so? And to help me do this discussion, I have here Madame Florence Eto. He's a registered dietitian at 37 Military Hospital. She says I shouldn't say all. I'll leave the rest for her. Mami Florence, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
How are you?
I'm fine, by God's grace. How about you?
Oh, by God's grace, I'm fine. I'm doing well. I like the way you are brightening and your colors and all that.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome to Love at Home.
Thank you.
Yes, we've been wondering and asking ourselves, why must we talk about dieting or diet? Why?
Okay, thank you very much for having me here. Dieting or food is very, very important. I think that it is one of the most important things. I always say that it's so important that God made all our food. He finished making all our food before he made us.
Wow.
So that he didn't finish creating man and our man is hungry and he's looking for food is very important. So God first made all our food, and then he even further went ahead to give directions as to which among all the edible things he has made, which of them should be eaten. And at some points in the Bible, Jesus even talked about the quantity of food you should eat. He even said that if you eat too much, if you are a glutton, it is a sin. So right from Genesis till Jesus, food is important. And so we should consider it in our daily lives. And then I also think that outside accident, anything bad happening, the food we eat or the things we put into our bodies are the only things that influence our lives.
Okay.
So it is important to consider what you are eating, what is on your plate at every point in time, because it could give your life a good turn or a bad turn, especially when you are growing older.
That's wonderful. Now, who is a registered dietitian?
Okay, so a dietitian is anybody who has studied the science of food and is able to explain it to people and help them make healthy food choices, whether in health or disease. So food is very complex and is able to do a lot of things, good things and bad things to our bodies. The dietitian studies the science of it and the science of the human body, and then how to apply these things. And then the dietitian must be able to explain it to individuals such that they are able to make the right decisions wherever they are.
Okay. So making the right decision is important.
Very, very important.
Okay. Now, what do we mean when we say family and diet? I just want you to emphasize on the diet aspect.
Okay. The family is made up of different people, usually different age groups. Okay, so everybody, the different age groups and the different genders have specific dietary requirements. Okay, so from infancy, the newborn needs their breast milk. After 6 months, they start complementary feeding, so they have their requirements, dietary requirements change. While they are growing up, adolescents have their requirements. The boys will need more because they are becoming muscular and all that. The girls also need different nutrients because then they are becoming feminine, if you please. And then we have older women, people who are yet to get married. They need to eat to prime themselves so that they'll be fertile. And we have older people who may not be using as much energy, and for women who may have delivered, they have lost certain nutrients, so they need to be replacing them. The older adults may have lost their teeth and all that. So dieting or food within the family is very important because we have different age groups, different representations, and different requirements.
So Florence, you are saying that the way, then the way we are eating is not correct. We are eating everything from childhood the same to everybody.
That is the issue, because most of the time, unless it is diarrhea, which is like immediate respond after you have eaten something wrong, unless that happens, because we don't see the effect of the eating immediately, we eat. So that is why it's important to consider what you are eating very well.
Wow, this is interesting. Are there some diets and dieting issues? What are what are they?
Okay. From across all the ages, I think that there are dieting issues. So right from newborn, we know you have to do the exclusive breastfeeding. Some new mothers may not be getting enough breast milk, so the baby right from the start may be having issues. Then so there will be the issue of whether to introduce formula. If you are giving formula, should you be adding water? We know that you are not supposed to be giving newborn water, so now that you are giving formula, should you be giving water? If you are not giving formula, the milk is not enough. That happens while the child is going to school. Are you giving them prepared meals from home, or are they eating from school? Are they eating their fruits? Are they taking factory-made drinks and all that? So those issues are there. The baby doesn't have teeth. You want to give them what you're eating in the house, how to go about all those things. And then as we grow, adolescence and puberty ages, females especially may not want to gain too much weight, so they'll be restricting their diet, so there may be food or eating disorders. Males or boys know that they should eat a lot. Even the mothers know that, as for boys, they eat a lot, so we may be overfeeding the boys, the men who are growing up. And then adults too, maybe you think that you have worked, you should enjoy yourself, and so we may be overindulging in certain things. And then the older adults, ability to taste is coming down, ability to feel thirsty is coming down, so they may not be hydrating well, they may not be eating well. And so at the different age levels, there are different dieting issues.
Let's look at the different age levels, because from the beginning, you started mentioning the different age levels, and I think it is important we look at that. So let's start from the baby through to the adults. I mean, the older generation, our senior citizen people.
Okay, so newborn to 6 months, WHO encourages exclusive breastfeeding because the studies have shown that the breast milk within that period is capable of providing all the nutrients that the baby needs, even including water. And so up to 6 months, and God is so good, like I said at the beginning, when you have a baby, all the stress along with it, you don't have to now be thinking of money to buy food for your baby. So up to 6 months, just give breast milk, don't add anything else. All right.
You shouldn't add water?
No, you shouldn't add anything. The breast milk is in parts. The initial one will give all the nutrients, and then the one that comes after is mostly water, so the baby gets enough water. So let me just chip in that when you are breastfeeding your baby, have time, let the baby suckle until you feel that nothing is coming again. You do 2 minutes, 3 minutes, the baby may not get everything. Okay, so then after that 6 months, then we'll start complementary feeding, and basically it is to introduce the baby to the food he's going to be eating for the rest of his life. So it is not really right to buying bottle feeds unless there's a problem and you can't give your child what you eat at home. And buying the bottle feeds, so they're very expensive. So you end up starving your child because you can't let the baby go through 5 bottles in a day. Okay, so complementary feeding, you introduce your baby to the things that are eating at home, but you introduce it gradually. One at a time. So we eat banku and okro at home, but from the 6 months you will not start with that. But we use the corn dough for our banku. So you start with porridges, because the baby is now learning to swallow, control the tongue and all that. You start with porridges one at a time. We do apapransa, we do Tom Brown. Start with one cereal at a time. You notice that your baby is not reacting to any of them, then you combine them and do your cereal mix for your baby. And then the foods you eat rice, you eat yam. Just prepare it such that the one you give the baby is not too spicy. Then you try it gradually. Once you see that the baby is able to tolerate, you keep going. And then, so the complementary feeding period, start one at a time with the foods you eat at home. You eat banana, you eat orange. Just mash it and try it for your baby. You see that she didn't react, she didn't have diarrhea or any rashes on the skin. Your baby can take banana. So during the day, she gets her fruits. She gets other nutrients from the foods you eat at home. Then when they toddlers, now they are able to eat, they are able to pick food, so you can now let them eat with the family or pack their meals for them. And then around that time they are very active, they have started walking, they are running up and down, so they need a lot of energy. So you do the porridges, then you would have to add milk, or if you want to introduce your child to sugar, you add that to increase the energy levels for you. And then you feed them several times during the day. So that's for childhood, yes. Around that time, the problem most of the time is that most parents, especially new parents, will not want to go through all the stress of
trying.
Yes, and so we'll do the packed meals, or we'll buy the drinks for their children, and those things are sweet. And if you introduce it to a child, they are not likely to come back and now eat the foods you make at home. So you should take the pain just a few times, introduce your child to the foods that will be eaten in the home, and then you can go on from there. Okay.
Are there any effects in these packed?
Yes, highly processed foods. Highly processed foods, most of the time, they are high calories. They have a lot of energy. Some of them have other micronutrients like sodium, which would eventually affect our blood pressure and the risk of getting certain non-communicable diseases or chronic illnesses. So if from childhood you start taking those things, first of all, the child is likely to gain a lot of weight. Okay. And we know that too much body fat is the beginning of most medical conditions. And some studies have shown that if you take in a lot of sugar, it makes the children very hyperactive. And so they may hurt themselves, which is an immediate consequence, or it builds up, and in adulthood they get medical conditions. Yeah.
But so you are suggesting that we go with the natural?
Yes, exactly. Okay. Anytime you are eating, make sure that your food is as close to natural as possible. Okay. Even what you give to your child should be so close to natural. So, for example, potato. So we do mashed potato, or we boil potato with stew. And then, I don't know if it is the brand name or that is the name of the chip, potato chip. So if you pick potato chip, one chip like that, and you pick boiled potato with kontomire stew, which of them is closer to the natural potato?
The one with the kontomire.
So you choose foods that are closer to natural, and then you can say that you are eating healthy kakra.
Okay. Okay. Now, so let's continue. Okay. Now we are done with the baby and the toddler stage. We are moving on. Okay,
so adolescents, we all know that during that time there's a growth upsurge. The energy requirements of both girls and boys increase. It is natural, it's part of the growing. And so if you have an adolescent or a teenage child at home and suddenly they are eating a lot, it is natural. Okay. We shouldn't restrict. It should be controlled, guided, because some people may end up overindulging, and then it will bring problem. Everything that we put in our bodies, if it is too much for the system, then the illnesses will come. All right. So, and even though the appetite goes up and they naturally need more, it should be guided. Okay. So they need a lot of energy. Both girls and boys are becoming taller, and girls are taking shape and forming. Now boys are getting their broad shoulders and muscle. So they need a lot of protein, and then healthy carbohydrates and healthy fat. So during that period, the quantity should go up, and then the quality should be checked.
No, Florence, you are saying they need because they need more energy and they are growing, you need healthy carbohydrates.
Yes.
What is healthy carbohydrates?
Okay, so
and the fats. I mean, give me a typical menu, how it should be done.
okay, so the healthy carbohydrates are the ones that have a lot of fiber. So our corn is good. So all the corn meals are good. If you don't sieve them before their preparation, they are good. So the porridges, banku, kenke, roasted corn, all those ones are very good. All the cereals, actually, I shouldn't have said corn. So corn, wheat, oats, brown rice, millet, excellent. So any meals prepared with those ones are very good. And then beans is also good. So we can add beans. So those are the cereals. And then yam, plantain, cocoyam, potato, those ones, they don't have much fiber actually. So even though they are healthy, if it is fiber you are looking for, you shouldn't be eating too much of them. And even the ones that you eat, you shouldn't have done too much work on it. So boil or roasted, very simple, so that it's close to natural. Okay. Then the other healthy carbohydrates are the vegetables. All our vegetables are very healthy. They have a lot of fiber. So you should add them to the cereals or the roots and tubers as you're eating.
But this part of our world, they don't like taking vegetables.
Yes, I find that very...
so please tell us more. What are there any techniques that will help us to learn how to take more
eat your vegetables? If you don't like to eat them as salad, you could make them as soup. You know, if you are drinking light soup, it's like salad. Just I blended them. There's tomatoes, there's pepper, there's some people add garden eggs, some people cut carrots, cabbage,
mixed.
So if you don't like chewing your vegetables, just blend them, make stew or soup, and then
boil it.
That's also the issue. The preparation of the meal will also make it healthier or not. So, and then apart from making it in a stew or soup, could make it nicer. So the cut vegetables like that may not taste very good. But if you added maybe one boiled egg, it will make it nicer and easier to chew. Or you add some baked beans to give it a little taste. Or fish, just flake fish. In addition, make it nicer and easier to bear. Then, yes, then you should, because the vegetables are very necessary. Yes. Okay. So those are for the healthy carbohydrates. Then the proteins, we have the fish, which is very healthy. And then we have poultry, so chicken or guinea fowl, also very healthy. And before the meat, the bigger animals, those ones, because of their fat and other micronutrient content, may be too high. For people who may have certain medical conditions, it's not very advised. But for adolescents, people who are growing up, if you trim the visible fat a little, you can have as much as possible. And then we have some proteins in certain beans also, so they could be eating those ones. Then the fat. All fat is fat, whether it's healthy or not. So if you took too much, it will give you problems. But some are, we need a little. First of all, it gives food taste. It makes food nice. And your food must be nice. It should be tasty. You should enjoy what you're eating. Making your meals healthy doesn't mean you should be boring or sad. Your body will not be happy. So the food should be nice. So add just a little oil to give it taste and make it nice. And then your body will get that source of energy that is stored for time that you will be in need of extra energy. So just a little to help the food go down well.
Okay. All right. Now let's go to those people preparing for in the prime stage, fertility areas and all that. What should we be eating?
Okay. In addition to all that we spoke about earlier, for women,
both men and women.
Yes. So for women, we need the folic acid, which helps in fertility, helps with fertilization, helps to produce enough blood and all that. So it is important. In some places, women in those ages are encouraged to be taking the tablets daily, even before you get married. But even if you're not doing that, we get the folate from greens. So back to our vegetables. Once you are eating your vegetables, you are eating the colored fruits and vegetables, you are sure. So kontomire is very good.
Okay.
Dandelion is good.
All right.
Very, very good. Ademe.
Oh, we have them all over.
Yes. Bitter leaves. Some people are able to eat it or add it to your soup. Boko boko. Excellent. The green ones. And then other vegetables that have a lot of color.
Beetroot.
So beetroot, excellent. Carrots there. Each other vegetables have a lot of color. Yeah, so those ones are good. They should be in your meals most of the time. And then you eat your fruits to get your vitamins and minerals, which will help to put you in a good position to marry and work hard. And then the men need their proteins and healthy carbohydrates. They need their fruits and vegetables too. Certain fruits have micronutrient that helps in cell division and production of what men need to make them healthy and strong. So fruits and vegetables are important, and then they need a healthy proteins. They don't need too much fat around that time. Right, and then hydration. It's important to drink a lot of water. You have all the nutrients, but it has to move, and you need fluids in your system to carry them along. So while you are eating well, hydrate well.
Okay, all right. Now, let's move to is it the working class or those people who are preparing for menopause and they are lacking so many things?
Okay, yes. Around that time, again, I'll start with the women. If you have had a number of children, you may have lost certain nutrients. And so it is important to replace them or just bring them up to standard. And so again, the vegetables, and God is so good. He puts everything in the natural food. So if you are eating well, actually, you don't necessarily have to be taking supplements. Even though in some cases, because of some medical conditions, you have to help your system. If you are eating your vegetables and your fruits, you get all the micronutrients that you need. And so women who are approaching menopause have to eat a lot of vegetables and fruits. It's important that by the end of every day, you should have had some fruits in your meal, what you consumed, and then at every point in time, you have had enough vegetables. There's any of the leaves that when you eat will not affect your stomach, just add them to your meals. And then around that time, for all adults actually, you may not need too much protein like the growing children. And so it is not very prudent to cover your meals with so much chicken or fish or any other protein, to be eating more than one egg at a time and all. No, what you need is the vegetables and the fruits and then some complex carbohydrates.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Well, I've just received a message, but I will ask you later. Now let's go back to those senior citizen people. Today they have this, today my knee, today my that.
Yes.
How? Why?
I think it comes with aging. Once you are growing older, those problems should come. But they have specific nutritional needs because of their age and because of the conditions that they may be having. Most of those people, like you said, have joint pains, they have arthritis or gout, and so they have to control their intake of proteins and foods that would increase their uric acid. So food, I don't want to give specific so that people who may not have that problem or have other things would stop. But around that time, they have to control their protein intake, and then they have to drink a lot of water. When we become older, our ability to feel thirsty reduces. So sometimes they may not be hydrating properly. That will also add to the complications. So it's important that you intentionally drink a lot of water, and then you eat your fruits and your vegetables. Once you are eating your fruits and your vegetables, you are sure that you are getting all the micronutrients that you need, and those small body pains will not come down. And then around that time, because we may not be as active, it is important to reduce your intake of fat to the barest minimum, because fat is a concentrated source of energy. If you are taking too much, those energies are stored, you are gaining more weight, you are not moving, then complicates your medical conditions. So reduce your fat as much as possible, and then do more of the healthy proteins, exactly, and natural foods. And then they may not be able to eat much at a time, so it will be small frequent meals, shorter intervals. And then the texture of their meals may have to be modified. Some may be losing their teeth and all that, so soft foods or fluid foods to help them get as much energy as they need.
I see. This is interesting. Now, let me read this message. Somebody just said he's around 48, but he just realized that the hair is going off. So he's thinking it's menopausal something. And so what do you think he should include to help her grow?
For the hair?
For hair, she's thinking it's menopausal issue.
You know that, before I go to a question, menopause is a natural process. I think that most growing women try to fight it. Menopause is not a sickness. You don't have to take medication for menopause, really, unless there's another problem. And so I don't fight it. Allow it to go. Just manage it well. If you don't have any medical condition and your hair is falling off, it may mean that you are not eating well, you are not having enough protein, so you may look at your protein intake, the healthy intake of the proteins.
Yeah. So from all the stages, you kept on mentioning fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
Fruits and vegetables. But nowadays, you realize that straight from birth, we are introducing formula. Is there any consequence to that? Especially when there is no issue.
Okay. Yes and no. Some of the formula have been made so close to the natural breast milk, and so if it is taken in the right quantities, the baby may not have any problem. Even then, still, because it is not natural, there's the added sugar and all those things. If it could influence weight gain in the baby, their ability to tolerate certain nutrients, increases their risk of getting allergies, becoming allergic to other foods. And sometimes, because of how it is prepared, it may affect their immunity and how they get infections very easily. So if it is not taken well, it is likely to have an effect on that baby as they grow up. And it is also necessary if the mother has a certain condition and cannot feed the baby. So the baby has to survive. So you get the formula. So the ones that are very close to breast milk, sometimes they are quite expensive. But if you want the best for your baby, you get those ones. Yes. Having said that, if the mother doesn't have any problem, you should breastfeed your baby. Most new mothers have the problem of the milk not coming well, and sometimes I find that it is because they are not eating well.
I was going to ask that.
Yes, the mothers don't want to gain weight after delivery, so they will not eat well. They will not do all the granite soup and the palm soup and the greens and eat the fish and the proteins so that they will get them. If you are not eating well, the milk will not come. If you are not eating well, you are hungry, you are starving yourself, you are stressed. If you are stressed, the milk will not come. So new mothers, eat well and breastfeed your baby. When your baby is old enough that you can exercise, go on and exercise. You will lose all the weight. Actually, some studies have shown that if you do exclusive breastfeeding, you would actually lose weight. So eat well, breastfeed your baby, and don't put the baby through all that because you want to maintain your weight.
Our dietitian says eat well, so that your baby will also be strong. Then you can get enough breast milk for your baby. Let's go for a quick break. And when we come back, we continue. We are discussing dieting in the family. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
The Beulah Seventh-day Adventist Church, in collaboration with Elim, Gilead, Berean, Chrysolite, and Penal SDA Churches presents the Innovation, Creativity and Entrepreneurship Conference 2023 under the theme Disruption, the Radical Christian Approach to Business and Corporate Life, happening on Wednesday the 2nd of August to Friday the 4th of August. Time 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Venue Beulah Land Kwadoso Estate. This year's conference will be a gathering of 1,000 young Christian professionals who will gather to learn, unlearn, and relearn emerging radical issues in entrepreneurship, innovation, job creation, corporate life, the future of work, and disruptive digital technologies. Speakers: Dr. Daniel Macaulay, Amma Duncan, Ohinaba Yao Sapong Serebo I, Kokwe Salome Hansen, Tony Senaya, Dr. Evans Dia, JJ Ansa Ado Kuranting, Pastor Godswill TK Mensa. For more enquiries, contact 024-618-1134 or 024-252-7829.
Every individual has a story. Stories of social issues such as infertility.
You did not marry your wife only because she's going to give you a child. You married because you loved her. Whatever comes on your plate, you're ready to accept that.
Abuse, obesity, life struggles, and others can be very frustrating. That is why Real Talk is back again with another exciting season where individuals like you can come into our studio or join us virtually to share your story and experience. To share your story, you can reach us through our WhatsApp number at 0559 680 066, or you can email us at hoptvghana@gmail.com. We say don't lock them away. If you ignore them, they can just get angrier and louder.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. You are welcome back, and we are on Love at Home on Hope Channel Ghana. We are discussing dieting with our family today. Dieting, family and diets, or dieting today. And we have here Madame Florence Eto. She's a dietitian, and she has discussed with us so many things. But before we left, she was talking about nursing mothers or pregnant women who sometimes, because they do not want to grow fat, decide not to take in the right things they're supposed to do. And so sometimes after birth, the breast milk is not coming. And he's saying that when you are done, you can go and exercise. So please make sure that you are giving the right quantity and the right amount of food to your baby so that your baby will also grow well. Thank you so much for staying tuned. You're welcome. Now, Florence, if I have a child who is not willing to be taking these vegetables, what should I do? Because these are some of the complaints you hear from parents.
Yes,
and
right.
From here, you are telling us that we should be taking vegetables and fruits. And you know, these adolescents, sometimes it's difficult for them to be taken. What can we do?
Okay, yes, it's true that it is very difficult sometimes to get children to eat their fruits and vegetables, especially if they are not home with you all the time and they see other children eating all the other foods that we say we shouldn't be giving them. It's difficult. So the mother or the caregiver must have time and plan the meals for the children. For the younger children, first of all, they'll eat what they see you eating. So you shouldn't give your child salad all the time and then she will see that you are in the room eating chips or biscuit or something. That is also why during when you start complementary feeding, you introduce your child to what is being eaten in the house. So everybody should eat the same thing. Then the child knows that this is what we eat. Still, some children may be stubborn, so you find a way of making it interesting. The meal should be served nicely. Presentation is very important, especially when you're feeding young children and very old people. So the food should be presented very nicely. If you're feeding your young child, you shouldn't heap the food, make it look like a task. The child is afraid and you are always yelling at him or her when it is meal time. So the presentation and the environment around meal times should be exciting and attractive to the child. And then make it colorful, so different vegetables, different fruits on the plate. Most children will like that. And then make it nice. Don't say because it's a child, you will not make the food tasty. The food should taste good, even though it is natural and healthy. And then you could add a few spices. So for example, if you are giving your child cut vegetables, eating cut vegetables like that is not very nice. But if you dip your carrot in chocolate, I'm sure the child will like it. So find other healthy ways of making it nice. Combine the vegetables with something else that the child likes, which is healthy, and then they can eat it. If you blend your fruits, sometimes you blend it for them. You do the smoothies, you do the juice, you blend it. Occasionally add milk, and so that the color will change. Then today your drink is red, tomorrow your drink is pink. Make it exciting. Cut the vegetables in shapes and size, styles. So make it exciting, make it colorful, present it well, and then make the environment around feeding time happy time. And then also eat the thing so that your child knows that this is food, this is real, even mommy is eating it. Okay.
Okay, so from our discussion, it looks like what we are taking in will determine what we will be in future.
That's right. Most
often.
Yes.
So how do we control this then?
Control what you are eating now. It is not very easy to control your meals, especially when you have already been introduced and you have acquired the taste and you enjoy it. Some things are very tasty, but we know they are not good. For example, sausage. I'm sure that everybody knows that it's not very healthy.
But
it is very, very tasty, especially when you fry it. Yes, it is so nice. But between two people, somebody who hasn't eaten it, the fried sausage before, and somebody who has eaten it and is trying to stop now. The one who hasn't eaten it before will not have any problem. So if you haven't yet acquired the taste of those meals, don't start. But if you have, and there's a challenge, gradually do it, gradually, one at a time. If you were taking a lot of soft drinks, you were doing it every day, reduce it gradually, replace it with other healthy foods. Make sure you are full and stop eating when you are full, and then so that you will not be tempted to add on. Because actually what we eat has a huge impact on our lives, especially when we become older. All the chronic diseases that we know are because mostly of what we put inside our body. Children not growing well, their brain function, even skin and all that is affected by what we eat. So it's important.
Florence, I have lots of questions for you. Yeah, so Prince Ejapon says, please, madam, is Hausa cocoa good for breakfast? Is it?
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay.
Hausa cocoa is made from millet.
Okay.
Millet is I mentioned earlier that the cereals are healthy. And so millet porridge is healthy. If you make it at home, it is
You see, now you're qualifying it.
Yes, because when you make it at home, you're not likely to sieve it and throw the chaff away. So you mix everything, boil it, and then that's
Florence, you know, when you add the chaff, it will be difficult to swallow.
Oh, it shouldn't. Yes, that's right.
And it will not sound like the Hausa cocoa.
It won't be like Hausa cocoa.
So we need to conscientize our mind that we need it for a healthy living.
Yes, okay. That's right.
All right. Now, Daniel Nyakomensa says there has been increase in child diabetes. What is the actual cause? Thank you so much, Mr. Prince Ejapon and Daniel, for your questions. Thank you.
Okay. A number of reasons. Some which include babies. Some babies are born with very large birth weight, so they are big right from the beginning. Most of our medical conditions begin from too much fat in the system. When the babies are big, their chances of becoming diabetic when they grow older is very high. The babies are big most of the time because the mother's blood sugar was not stable while they were pregnant, and so they have big babies, and then it increases the chance of the babies getting diabetes as they grow. And then what we feed the children, most children start eating with all these sugary drinks and biscuits, and so they already have primed their system for that condition as they are growing up. So it is very important that even if you have a big baby from the beginning, do not give them all these highly processed foods, because that is the beginning of the diabetes.
See, where you ended is where somebody is asking his question. You see, sometimes it's difficult to feed your children with food closer to natural, especially if the child has been on processed foods in the past.
That's right.
How can you transition to healthier foods quickly and smoothly?
Okay, yes, so it should be gradual. It should be gradual. Don't, like I said earlier, don't make meal times a time that the child will dread. It should be gradual, and don't be shouting at the child or forcing them to eat. Let them eat with you and eat what you are eating. So you yourself, you have to make the change. The child knows that you don't put these spices in your meals, but you are also eating it. Mommy is eating that, the big sister is eating it. Your big sister is eating this food and she has become very tall. And so you eat it too, you become like your big sister. We are all eating it together. So start by changing your own meals and then eat with the child. Occasionally make it give in to what they want, so that they will not be too unhappy, because all that will affect their health.
Their mood.
Yes, so make it balance it, and then gradually remove what is not good. Don't start all of a sudden. Today they went to school with a drink, from tomorrow is off.
So after studying this year, then the dietitian on Hope TV said processed food is not good. So from tomorrow, no processed food.
Then you go and pack all the things in the fridge. The child will not eat. And they don't know that. So it's gradual, one at a time, gradually, and then you also talk to them. Sometimes people think that children will not understand things, but if you spoke to your child, let them know that I want you to grow up and be strong and be healthy. I don't want you to be sick. So this is what God gave us what to eat. If you are a Christian parent and you have been praying with your child already, this is what God wanted us to eat. You see, to make you talk to your child and let the child also see you doing what you have said, and they are likely to follow.
Okay. All right. Seth Owusua Jane, please, how safe is food prepared and sold in restaurants and other outside sources? I have observed that many people have some misconceptions about home-cooked meals. For example, it is only those who cannot afford meals sold outside who rely on homemade food. Please, what are the health implications of consistently eating meals sold outside?
Okay, that's a very detailed question. Okay, thank you for your question.
Thank you, Mr. Seth Owusua. Thank you.
If you do not have any medical conditions and any restrictions, eating out occasionally is okay, and you are an active person, you hydrate well, eating out occasionally is okay. But it shouldn't be something you do on the regular, because we all know that they use all these artificial spices. Some of them reuse oil, or reusing oil over and over is not healthy, and the foods are too refined for us. So they are not healthy if you eat it too often. Occasionally you can have that if you are active and you hydrate well. And the impression that it's only those who don't have money, no, I think it is even a lot. You spend a lot more if you want to cook well at home. So don't feel bad that you are eating home cooked meals. You are eating healthy.
Okay. Now, from our discussions, it appears we need dietitians.
That's right. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Yes. because the dietitian will explain the science of the food you are eating to you, how you should do the combination so that you will get all the nutrients you need from the meals and not fall, so that you don't fall sick, how you should be prepared, the quantity you should eat which will be good for your body. So many things around the food. It is very important that you have a dietitian explain to you.
So you see, normally we hear people coming to see the dietitian when the person has a certain condition.
Yes.
Or doctor will say, go and see a dietitian. But ordinarily, you will not see people walking to see, I'm going to see my dietitian.
That's right.
It doesn't happen in Ghana, at least, let me say Ghana.
Yes, that's true.
Is that the case? And why?
Yes. And because, you see, because food is food, everybody is eating. If you are a grown up, you have been eating all your life and you have grown and you are like this. Is it now that somebody is coming to teach you what to eat and not to eat, you know? So unless the person is really sick, they don't want to take dietary advice. But it's important that you take dietary advice so that you will not get to that point where you will now be restricted from enjoying all the good food that God has given us.
From your hard-earned labor. What should we do as family when it comes to our meals and dieting issues?
Okay. First, remember that the different age groups represented in the family have different dietary requirements, and those ones should be met so that everybody will grow well and be happy. And so some principles to guide us for family meals. The first one is that every time when we are eating, the food should be adequate. It should be enough. Don't overfeed somebody and underfeed somebody. It should just be adequate, enough for everybody. So don't give all the fish to somebody and give small fish. Just enough for everybody. So the food should just be enough, adequate for everybody. Then the meal should also be balanced. We have 3 major nutrients: carbohydrate, proteins, and fat. They should be represented in your meals. Then we have the minerals and vitamins. They should all be represented in your meals. So you should have proteins, you should have some carbohydrates, small fat, you should have your fruits and vegetables. The meal should be balanced. It doesn't mean the meal should be expensive. Just get a bit of all the nutrients on your plate. That's good. And then when you are eating, make sure that there's not too much energy in any meal. So it shouldn't be too much oil, too much sugar, too much refined parts. So control the calorie in your meals. Then there should be variety. This is that because your child likes rice every day, you are giving him rice. There are other cereals. Try them gradually, introduce them, bring variety into your meals. And then even the good ones that we eat, bring some. It should be moderation, don't overeat it. And then hydrate. So if you want to eat healthy with your family, make sure it is adequate, it is balanced, it is controlled. Don't allow, if you allow certain people to go, they will eat everything and it will bring problems. Just control it and then bring variety in your meals and be moderate.
So you've shown us the principle. Now, can you help us to prepare a simple menu in a day for a family, starting from breakfast? Let's say we have children from toddlers or adolescents. Let's start from either toddler or from adolescents to the grandma.
Okay. Let's make it easy. Okay. So anytime you are eating, on your plate, there should be some carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, the cereals and the grains. There should be some vegetables. There should be some healthy protein. And there should be small fat. Okay. Anytime, breakfast, lunch, supper, whenever you are eating. And so if in the morning you want to eat your waakye, you have your...
I can see you like waakye.
Oh, yes. Yes, waakye is a very wonderful combination.
Yeah. It's a wonderful combination. That's good.
So in the morning, you want to have your waakye. You have your cereals and grain, complex carbohydrate represented in the beans and the rice. And you have your vegetables in the salad that we usually add, and the stew that we have. And there's some oil on the stew. And then you have your protein in the fish. it is complete. You have the major nutrients represented. If you don't want wache and you want to do porridges, you are doing the corn porridge. You have your corn porridge, you have your granite and milk in there, giving you your protein and some fat in the granite and even the milk, depending on the type you are using. So you have your carbohydrate, the corn, you have your protein and fat from the granite and the milk that you added, so it is complete. So every time you are eating whatever meal it is, there should be some carbohydrate, there should be some protein, there should be very little fat. And then after some hours you do your lunch, the same thing. You can repeat your wache, or now you are eating kenke. You have your carbohydrates, you have your protein, the fish or egg in the stew, and then that's it.
So you see, sometimes we are taking the fruits, but probably the time we are taking the fruits is not helping us to get the right nutrients. At what time should we be taking these fruits? For the vegetables, they may be part of the food, but the fruits.
Yes. Depending on your health status, you can eat your fruits before and after the meals, depending on the medical condition. But if you don't have any problem, you can eat your fruits at any time. But if you really want to eat, you are eating to be full, then eat the food and then eat your fruits later.
So can somebody decide not to eat food, but rather be on the fruits?
Yes.
So he gets a whole big size of watermelon.
Yes.
Then he sit by
and eat it.
And eat all. Is that correct?
It's not very good.
Okay.
Fruits are healthy. They have natural sugar, they have minerals and vitamins, they have fiber. But the sugar, the calories, or the energy, whether it is from a healthy source or not, is energy. The body, if it is too much in the body, it is accumulated, becomes fat. It increases your chances of becoming sick, and then your blood sugar levels will go up, even though you ate a healthy natural sugar. So the quantity of your meal is very important. So the first principle, adequate, just enough. Don't eat a bucket of mango. We do that very
Especially when it's in season.
Yes, no, it's not good. Even though it's natural, you shouldn't abuse it. Your system will react in the future.
Florence, my time is up. I'm surprised. But please, your last words, counsel us.
Okay. Dieting, food is very important, like we said at the beginning. And God is so good, He has told us what to eat. So if you really want to take good care of your body in terms of what you put in, you should listen to what God says about what you should eat. If it happens that you have a medical condition and so you have to restrict your diet in certain ways, follow the advice given by the medical practitioners. It will do you a lot of good. And then in addition to that, remember to hydrate. Water is part of all the important nutrients that we need. Remember to drink a lot of this natural thing that God has blessed us with. And then we have the new start and the celebrations. Nutrition is important, it's in there. And then our choices are also important. Start your children with a healthy natural food so that you don't have to make any changes while they are now growing. And then enjoy your meals. Food is nice, enjoy it, don't make it too difficult. Yes.
Thank you so much, Florence. But let's talk about water, just in a jiffy. We sometimes we see the way people drink water. And is that how it should be done?
Don't wait till you are feeling thirsty before you drink water. Throughout the day, just be drinking along. Unless you have a problem and you may not be able to control if you have to pass urine or anything, or the doctor has given you the quantity to take in a day because of your medical problem. Otherwise, you should drink water throughout the day, and don't wait till you are feeling thirsty before you drink.
I can't thank you enough. God bless you.
Amen. God bless you too.
My lovely viewer, our time is up. As said, one of the major things that enhances the family is what they feed on, because it can affect your growth, health, and lifestyle. As we prepare to meet Christ in heaven, let's stay safe, let's eat well, let's prepare our children, our families to be stronger and healthier, so that when Christ comes, we can be fit and meet him, and also help to do his job. If you are fit, you can help to do God's job. If you are not fit, you'll not be able to do what God said we should do. On this note, thank you so much, and the program has been Love at Home, and thank you. Good night. Bye.